Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on one thing: single barrels. Best of all, you can try before you buy. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to sign up for their email and text distribution so you know what they have in stock, what classes are coming up, and who from the industry may be coming in to visit. The ABV Barrel Shop. It's where single barrels live. We are also sponsored by the Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers traveling minibars that are no bigger than a small purse or toiletry bag. Best of all, they are fully customizable so you can create the perfect piece that is unique for you. If you own your own business, what a fun and unique way to promote what you do. Check them out online at thebar2go.com. That is the number 2 in the Bar to Go. If you have wholesale questions, call my friend Isabel Clark at 504-481-1297. Finally, we are sponsored by the Neely Family Distillery. NFD is a family-owned business that keeps ringing up awards in the spirits world. Head to Sparta, Kentucky to experience the family history, award-winning spirits, and meet the Neely family. Check them out online at neelyfamilydistillery.com. Now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today we have a special show, the first show ever recorded in the If You Know, You Know Speakeasy, right next to the ABV Barrel Shop. My name is Steve Akeley. I'm joined by Don Knott. Don, what's going on, man?
Hey, Steve. How are you today?
Good. Exciting. This is groundbreaking. We've never done a show in here.
Well, it's a place to be. I want to be here.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about your travels. You're celebrating a big birthday. We'll talk about all that after the break. For right now, we need to get to know you on a little bit on a personal basis. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a father of 2 beautiful girls. Both now graduated college. One's 31. The other is 26. The other one, my oldest, currently works in the wine industry.
Okay.
She works for a company as the hostess and takes care of the tasting room and all of that. She and her husband live in Walla Walla, Washington, and one of the things that they like to do.
Okay. Up there, that's Sasquatch country, right?
It is.
Yeah. So that's right in the middle of things. So when you're talking about Sasquatch, I mean, the famous footage is from Washington, somewhere up in that area, I guess, right?
Well, until the one in Colorado, right?
Yeah. But there's nothing more classic than Gimlin and whatever it is film. Those two shot that footage of Bigfoot walking and kind of looks back. That's the ultimate stuff, right?
Oh, you can't beat that one. Classic.
Yeah, for sure. So, and you are a fan of the show, right?
Yeah, since the very beginning.
Yeah. So you listen to the show, kind of. I talked to you a little bit about that before. Sometimes it's while you're working, sometimes it's in your little man cave. But it varies, right?
Oh yeah, my type of job is very tedious, and it's nice to listen to something that keeps me thinking and entertained at the same time.
Okay. So why do you like the show? I mean, there's a lot of bourbon podcasts out there. There's probably 3,000 bourbon podcasts out there at this point.
Oh, I have a few that I listen to besides the Bourbon Daily. I have the Bourbon Show.
Yep.
One of the reasons I like it is it's entertaining and informative at the same time. It's very quick. We have the small talk at the beginning of a purely nonsensical topic.
Right.
And then it gets right into, for the commercials, what the title of this show is about.
Yeah. That's it in a nutshell. I always say, for me, I think people who are new to the show, so you've been listening from the beginning, but someone that new discovers the show, I think they tune in for the topic of the day, what happens after the break. I think people who ends up being the biggest fans of the show like what happens before the break. They end up liking the characters, the people on the show, and they like the small talk. They like the interaction, what we're talking about today. To me, the way it comes across to me, and again, I don't know, I'm the guy making the shows, but to me, I believe people feel a connection to the people on the show, and they like the chat that goes on, and you feel like you're part of it, really.
Well, it's amazing. One of the reasons I popped by the ABV Barrel Shop in St. Louis or Arnold, Missouri, for the reason, I have a connection with everybody that's on the show, all the hosts. You just feel like it's not like family, but you know them, and you want to interact with them. It's a great way of getting involved.
Yeah. It's fun. I'm so glad you're here today, and a part of this, I know we're going to talk about this epic trip that you've been on. We're going to get to that after the break. For right now, you're going to get the honor of doing something that I think every fan wants to do. You get to be part of a cork pop. So let's see what you got here.
Let's hope it's going off good.
Hey, there you go. Little squeak, not bad. You know what that sounds like? That sounds like the sound of victory, my friend. So we got the Jack Daniel's, the Bonded Rye. Have you tried this one yet?
I have not.
All right, I think you're going to be in for a treat. We've been talking a lot about bottled and bond whiskey, so this is a bottled and bond product from Jack Daniel's, and they're really doing good things these days, aren't they?
It's amazing what they can do.
Yeah, you think this big company, you always think big companies are slow to change, they're not going to embrace new things. Jack Daniel's, they're coming out with like one great new product after another, so they're really doing some awesome stuff.
They're blowing it away from me. I pick up their products all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, cheers, Don.
Cheers.
Good stuff, right?
Oh,
that's really good.
Heaven.
Really good rye. Easy drinking, just very pleasant. I would say it's kind of a session type of rye. You can just have one pour after another. That's probably what we're going to end up doing today. We'll just hang out here the rest of the day.
Well, I always drink it neat anyway. This is perfect.
Yeah. All right, what we'll do next, we'll take a quick break. And then when we come back, we're going to be talking to Don about this epic trip. We'll do that in just a few. Okay, let's talk about the people that make these shows happen. First up is the Stave and Thief Society. Via their in-person class at Moonshine University in Louisville, Kentucky, the Stave and Thief Society is the place where you, a bourbon enthusiast, can expand your knowledge and emerge an executive bourbon steward. In 2017, I completed my executive bourbon steward certification. It's the most comprehensive bourbon certification available and connects you with an expansive network of bourbon enthusiasts and professionals. Check out the full listing of in-person and online certifications and join the society today by enrolling at staveandthief.com. We're also sponsored by the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop focuses exclusively on barrel picks. It's the job of owners Steve Akeley and Jim Fosnot to seek out distilleries that are making the best whiskey in the world, taste through their barrels, and select the ones that are off-profile in the best way possible. They have high standards and refuse to allow anything into their store other than something they would be proud to have their name on. This leads to some really awkward conversations with distilleries that can't make it, but they do it for you, their customers. Learn more about what is going on at their St. Louis-based store by heading over to abvbarrelshop.com. Last but not least, we are sponsored by Neely Family Distillery. Royce Neely is the 11th generation distiller in one of America's oldest distilling families. A visit to Neely Family Distillery takes you through family history, where you can see all the artifacts and newspaper clippings through the years from this family that started distilling in America after James Neely arrived from Northern Ireland in 1740. Today, Royce Neely and his team are crafting some of the best spirits in America. Their bourbon and absinthe offerings keep winning top honors in the spirits competitions. Recently, their absinthe made history as the first platinum winner in the absinthe category at the San Francisco Spirits Competition. Neely Family Distillery is definitely a bucket list destination if you are a bourbon fan. Learn more about their spirit offerings, visiting their facility, and the awards they have collected over at neelyfamilydistillery.com. Catherine Carpenter versus Julian Van Winkle III. Which of those two do you think deserves to go in the Kentucky Bourbon Hall of Fame?
Oh, Winkle.
Winkle. All right, welcome back. This is Steve Akeley and Don Knott. We are here at the If You Know, You Know Speakeasy. Crazy stuff. We've never done a show here before, but we've got a packed house going on over at the Barrel Shop. And wanting to do a show would be tough. I mean, there's a lot of people talking over there. So that or it would get very quiet and they'd be listening in and it would just be awkward. So I thought it'd be easy enough. We'll just pop over here and do the show right here. So yeah, so pretty cool stuff. We're here at the bar. For those of you that come by to the shop, I'd be more than happy to show you what's going on. We're hoping, we initially hoped to be open by like our anniversary, which was, July 9th. And here we are as we record this, we're in October, and now we're hoping for like 1st of January is what we're hoping. So things happen. It ends up being, you're like, well, we know what we have to do to build out, and you put a time frame on that, and that's what you do. But then you got to realize when you're in business, you got to have pull permits, and you got to get city approval, and there's a lot of back and forth. And this, the other entities don't necessarily work fast. I mean, they have a job, and it's not like we're the top priority of anything. So yeah, it's taken way longer than we thought, Don.
Well, I think so far what I see out here, it's the insides look turning out to be really good.
You can kind of see the vision, I hope.
I sure do.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about what's going on. So you live out in Oregon. No, you live in Washington. You live in Washington, Vancouver, Washington, and you make this big trek, but that's for a special reason, right? So what kind of instigates why you decide this year to take this trip?
Well, it's my 60th birthday. Yeah. And I didn't want to go to Europe. I wanted to go places that are important to me on a personal level. One of the things I wanted to do was hit the Bourbon Trail again, see some places that I hadn't been to the last time I was there in 2019. And I was there with my future son-in-law. And then also I wanted to make sure to hit the Neely Family Distillery. That was one of them. And then also visit the ABV Barrel Shop. Why? Because I've interacted with Steve on his Zoom calls for the years that we did that. And also because it's a destination. I see it all the time on my Facebook page every morning. And I wanted to come out here and experience it firsthand.
Yeah, it's pretty cool that you are able to do that. And so now you're saying it's different. You've seen it in pictures. Now you've seen it in person. What do you think after you've had the chance to come see the barrel shop?
Oh, it's a lot more crowded in person. There's a lot of product.
Yeah, we're loaded up.
You're loaded up. The bottles that you see on the in the photos don't do justice to how many bottles are actually there. You feel that when I'm here. This time today is I can't wait to. It's like I'm going to be buying lots of bottles before I leave.
Yeah, so it's going to help us out with some of those inventory issues.
Why not?
Yeah, we're talking about adding a second location now. This is the first time the audience has heard this. I haven't talked about it on the air, but we are looking at adding a second location. And what's kind of neat about that is, it's a very expensive business. So a lot of our money is tied up over there. So you're thinking about adding a second location. That's going to be another big expense. No, it's not. We're going to have our inventory. As long as we stay in the state of Missouri, if we own two businesses, we can move inventory between two businesses. We're allowed to do that, and that's going to be the plan. So we'll just have our inventory there to go to this other spot, which again is going to be far enough away from here. We're getting a little bit different clientele, and we're going to be in business relatively easily. I mean, that sounds pretty good, right?
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Do you have any ideas where you might be putting it?
Yes. We'll talk off air. I'll tell you. I'll tell you where it's going to be. We'll see if it happens. I'll tell you off air where it's going to be. I don't want anybody else to move in on it. Be like, oh, they vetted this place out. And then they go there, so I don't want that to happen. But yeah, we'll talk about it.
What about out of state?
Out of state, we've looked at several things like that. We want. And then we've looked at things like, doing franchises and things like that. We may do that eventually. I don't know. What's good is we understand and it takes a while to understand the laws. We're finally at the point where we're understanding the laws of Missouri. And I don't know that anybody knows every law because there's a lot when it comes to liquor and alcohol. But we feel comfortable here. To go to a different state, it involves learning an all new process and all different kinds of things. And that could be worrisome. And then it starts getting to anything that we do right now, as long as we're looking at staying in the eastern half here of Missouri and kind of St. Louis, greater St. Louis metropolitan area. We like the idea of that because Jim and I can manage those things. We can be on top of it. Once you start getting where you're not there every day, that things can be a problem. So yeah, we want to make sure that we're the quality and consistency that our customers are used to. So
good luck to finding the right spot.
Yeah. So that'll be a fun process for sure. So you're in. You got the big birthday going on. You tell us where all you've been on this trip. Where did you go? What cities?
Well, we started the trip in Washington D.C.
Okay. What kind of stuff did you want to see there?
Well, we saw the International Spy Museum.
Okay. Yeah, that's a fun one.
the National Archives with the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. We went to a nighttime.
Did you go to Jack Rose?
No.
Saloon? Okay.
Now, my wife, not a big bourbon fan. She's learning.
Right.
On how to appreciate, what bourbon's all about. So those places I had to kind of push off to the side.
Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, it gives you other reasons to go back then down the road, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
So after that, we're going to drive from Washington, D.C. to Louisville. It was a 10-hour drive. We decided at the last minute not to do that. We could fly from Washington, D.C. to Louisville instead, and we did that. Saved some money.
Yeah.
And went to Old Forester Distillery, Edwin Williams, Rabbit Hole, Angel's Envy, and had a nice, wonderful dinner at the Bourbon Bistro.
Yeah.
Because our bed and breakfast was right next door.
Bourbon's Bistro is special. I really do think that because, you've got several things that work there in its favor. The history, of course, but you've got Bronner himself, and you saw him when you were there. He's there most of the times. Most
Definitely.
evenings he's there. And, he's one of the great people from the world of bourbon. There's a guy right there. You can interact with him. You can talk to him. You can pick his brain, ask him about bourbon history, talk about who comes in there. That's exciting. And then I always say, too, Louisville's a great foodie town. The food's great in Louisville, but you might have your best meal at Bourbon's Bistro. The food's really good there, isn't it?
Oh, we had the steak and also the hamburger.
Yeah. That burger is amazing, isn't it?
Best one so far.
Yeah.
And that not only includes Kentucky, but includes where I live now in Washington, too.
Okay.
As well.
Yeah. Really, really good. Really, really special
And
stuff.
the food is, food was fantastic. The environment in which we had it was also fantastic.
Yeah, that's very good. And then after hanging out and spend some time with the Neelys as well, which was a cool thing, you got to meet Becca and Royce. Very cool.
Well, if you listen to the Bourbon Daily show, you know that you have to visit that place. They encourage you to come out and visit. Just like they say on the show, it's very friendly. They'll come up to you and say hello. And we had a wonderful time with the tour. Very informative, and then we had a nice tasting at the end.
Yeah, very nice, very nice. And then you end up here. So now you're here in St. Louis, suburb of Arnold, the great city of Arnold, and you're hanging out here. And you got to finally come into the ABV Barrel Shop. You've tasted a bunch of our barrel picks, and you've got to tour here over the If You Know, Speakeasy. And it's fun. You got to see a bunch of the crew. There's a lot of people hanging out at the bar. So,
a bunch of the regulars that you hear about on the shows. For me, it was a way to connect with Steve. I've only been able to see Steve on the Zoom calls in the past, and this was a great way of interacting with him and also the people there at the store. And it was a highlight in the end of my trip. So
yeah. And, one of the things, too, that is special about the relationship that you and I have, and again, this is the first time we've ever met. That's what's neat about the bond of bourbon. We meet over our combined passion for bourbon. We find each other on social media. And I probably talked to you more than anybody, any of the regular listeners. I mean, several times a week, at least, sometimes on a daily basis, you and I chat, typically over Twitter, right? So, you send me messages and things like that. And ask me questions.
Certain things that pop up in the world of bourbon that may be of interest that he hasn't seen or I've just, noticed that came across. We obviously, listen to different podcasts, and you're not going to listen or read the same stuff all the time. And it's just a nice way to interact.
Absolutely. Well, Don, I can't thank you enough for making the journey down here again. Cheers, my friend. Cheers, buddy. All right, we're going to wrap this show up as we always do by talking about where people find us. Maybe someone wants to follow your journey. Where can they go to find you?
Well, I'm at Twitter or X, as they call it now.
I still call it Twitter. I can't get past it.
Just at Don Knott.
At Don Knott. All right. For me, I'm an easy guy to find at Steve Akeley, Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I've got a website, steveakeley.com. We've also got that company website, that thing's abvnetwork.com. That's the one you want to check out. Everything that we do is out there. We put all of our previous shows, our blogs, so much more, abvnetwork.com. Come by and see us, the ABV Barrel Shop, like Don is doing here. Hey, you might end up on a podcast. You just never know. The place where you can try before you buy. Check us out online, abvbarrelshop.com. ABVBarrelShop.com. Of course, if you like what we're doing, give us a 5-star review. It helps new people find the show. Include some comments there. That would be awesome. And of course, head over to patreon.com/the ABV Network. Well, that's going to wrap this one up, Don. Take care, buddy.
Take care.
For our audience, we'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Until then, see ya.
See ya.
Peace. Before we finish the show, let's talk about some of the great companies that support the ABV network. First up is Moonshine Still Pro. Moonshine Still Pro is owned and operated by Russell Creed, who makes stills for the hobby distiller. He offers a one-stop shop for everything the at-home distiller needs. Whether it's a small, experimental stovetop still or something bigger you run outside, he has the still or parts you would have difficulty fabricating yourself if you were trying to build a DIY still project. Additionally, he has resources to assist in creating unique distilled spirits, including heirloom grains, barrels for aging, and recipes. Check out Russell's company online at moonshinestillpro.com. Finally, I have a question for you. Have you ever boxed a bear? Of course not. That'd be silly. Bears really don't follow the rules, so shots in the back of the head, punches to the nuts, and scrums after the bell would be the norm. A better idea would be to enjoy Boxing Bear Whiskey, a brand crafted by Nobleton's Distilling House in Union, Missouri, and sold exclusively at the ABV Barrel Shop in suburban St. Louis. This is a popular offering that sells out quickly, but when you are in town, stop by the ABV Barrel Shop and see if they have it in stock. Better yet, sign up for their email and text distribution over at abvbarrelshop.com and you'll know exactly when it is in stock. This is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network, signing off. We thank you for listening to our programming and truly appreciate your support.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.